What I'm doing here is I'm working Bowser and Brewster together. And what we're doing is we're working on heel. And it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter that this is new for Bowser and this is more difficult for Brewster working with a dog. If you see the puppies like trying to, get Brewster going, he's like trying to like nibble on his face and stuff, trying to get Brewster to like screw around and play. That's not it. It's about staying at heel. Doesn't matter what the situation is, and this would be a very difficult situation for any dog. Know that if you're going to train, if you have two dogs and they're going to heel, they both heel on the same side. If you don't, if you do it one on one side and one on the other, they're not heeling, first of all. They aren't. That's dog whisper bullshit, okay? And heel is with your leg. Now, they both do pretty good. Now, full disclosure, I worked with both of them for about 5 minutes right before we did this, like about 45 minutes before. I took them outside just to show them, look, we're going to do this later. And also, Bowser had seen Brewster catching a Frisbee and remained fairly calm in the sitting position. He did pretty good. Now, the first 5 minutes, the first session that I did with Bowser and Brewster, I'm putting them at sit. The first session that I did working with Bowser was very difficult. And what Bowser was doing was he was lagging behind, which that's what Bowser does, and it's just as bad as a dog that like runs forward. If you have a dog going forward, they're trying to control the situation. If you have a dog lagging behind, they're trying to control the situation. So that it was important that during that first session, I corrected Bowser. I told him, no, you need to stay up here at heel, and that's all there is to it. So considering Bowser's age and, how much training he has, I think he did pretty good. Both of these dogs did pretty good. That neither one of them have really done this together, and we'll keep working this with them, and they'll both get better at it because they'll both be accustomed to each other. And Bowser will stop trying to excite Brewster. Brewster's the older black dog. It's an issue of excitement for both of them. See how Bowser's like, he's trying to interact with Brew? I'm telling Bowser not to do that, and I do have an e-collar in my hand, a mini educator, set on number 7, and I'm using vibration and the momentary setting. So if he starts screwing with Brewster, I tell him no, and I'll hit the button. So he starts seeing that this is unacceptable. You can't do it. Now, the setting 7 on a mini educator is lower than a human can feel it. It is. It's very low. So it's low stimulation. I just want to indicate, no, you're doing something wrong, Bowser. Now, all in all, this session, it was pretty good. It was pretty good considering they've never done this together and that Bowser is very young and, he hasn't had a lot of training. They did pretty good. If I was walking in a straight path, it would have been much easier. Would have been easier on me, but we really have to move the dogs past this point of excitement. Meaning, I need Bowser to just chill out when he's walking at heel with Brewster, and that's all there is to it. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm letting Bowser take a pee. Bowser needs to take a pee. And I was talking to Bowser, and in a second, I think Brewster thought I was talking to him because Brewster popped out of sit. So it's not that big of a deal. Listen, dogs are not robots. They aren't. Brewster made a mistake. See, he thinks that I was talking to him. So I tell Brewster, you better sit down, dude. You screwed up. Not that big of a deal. Bowser peed, so we're going to go back to what we were doing before, which is heel. So I'm going to get them both in the same position, which is Bowser on the inside and Brewster on the outside. You must know this. This is very important. There is no jockeying for positions. I made the decision. Bowser's on the inside because he's the youngest dog with the least amount of training. And that's it. They can't go back and forth. That's not heel. So this session is pretty much just to sort of work out the bugs, you know. The first session was to tell Bowser, look, you need to stay up with me at heel, which Bowser's doing a pretty good job. I mean, honestly. That was the first session. This session, you know, it's about a couple things. And that, you know, one of the things is that, like, you know, you really need to stop trying to interact with Brewster. He likes Brewster, but stop trying to interact with Brewster. We're working. I'm taking into consideration that it's a 4.5-month-old puppy. And the way that I see it, that it went pretty good. Not once did Bowser try and jockey for position. Brewster stayed in his position on the outside, which outside is sort of harder. It is, honestly. But that's why we have Bowser on the inside. So both of them, I think, did pretty good. Now I'm putting them at sit, and I'm going to start working on something else. So I have them at sit, and that's another thing. I'm walking away, but that doesn't mean that Bowser gets to start sniffing or Brewster gets to start sniffing the puppy, or, you know, like, I'm not watching them. I am watching them, but they're doing good. They're working together, and I'm just moving the camera, you know, because I know that I'm going to work on something else here, but I consider this was very successful, and we'll keep working these two together, and I'll probably have Bowser work with some of the other dogs too. See what Brewster's doing? That's a no-no. He's sniffing the dog. He's going to get the dog in trouble. The dog's going to move.